You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Tonight, find both flowing melodies and libations served up at Opera by the Pint. Presented by Flipside Opera and Art Song Collective, the spontaneous and fun event makes its return after a COVID-induced hiatus. To tell us more, I'm joined by Flipside co-founder and artistic director, Judith Oatway. Hello.
Hi, Simon. Nice to meet you on the radio.
Oh, and it's a pleasure to meet you on the radio as well. Judith, a live opera event, singing in person with an audience. I can't even think of the last time that happened. You must be so excited.
So excited. Yeah, we really took a hiatus through COVID, and we're just very excited to be able to do this, outside on a patio. So we all feel comfortable, and I know people are going to be excited to sing. Everyone loves to do it. So
Ain't that the truth? So for those who've never attended an Opera by the Pint performance before, can you break it down a little bit for us? Tell us a little bit more about the format.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a very informal and casual sort of event. What it is tonight will be 2 sets, but normally in past events we've had 3 sets of about 4 or 5 operatic pieces, and you're guided through it with a bit of a synopsis and some bad jokes by me, and so that's pretty much it. And so it's kind of a chance for audiences to be super up close and personal with singers, and it's also building on sort of a live and unscripted, slightly scripted but unrehearsed performance. So these singers will have picked songs that they just want to get out there and do, and they will have very little, if any, rehearsal. So it's very spur of the moment for them. So a great, fun and exhilarating way to perform.
Yeah, it really does sound like a total thrill. And I mean, without getting too far into it, we all know what the past 18 months have been like. Do you think there's going to be any rust there for the performers?
Yeah, I know. That's a great question. Well, I think for some of them, it might be like those performance jitters. It's been a while since you've been in front of a live audience, and that those nerves are both excitement and like, oh gosh, how's this going to go? But that's really the point, isn't it? Get up there and do it. And our audiences are so generous, and they just love to hear singers in whatever stage of development they're at. These singers will be amazing. We know that some of them have probably been busy singing in other things, but I mean, you never know what you're going to get, which is kind of the fun part of it.
And you get to work through it together with that supportive audience, like you mentioned. And
Yeah.
if it goes well, or even if it doesn't go well, you grab a beer after, and really,
Or before.
how yeah or before, and how much more merry can you really be? I do want to come back to this idea of opera in a brewery. I think when most people think opera, they don't think casually dressed performance on a patio, but rather this tuxedo or ball gown clad production at a concert hall. But that's all part of Flipside's mandate, isn't it, to make opera and art song more accessible?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were so happy to partner with Little Brown Jug a few years ago, which is where this is being held. They are so open to community events, and they loved the idea right away. They jumped on the bandwagon, and I think it does kind of make it feel less of a barrier for somebody. I know we've had people in LBJ who didn't know this was happening, and they stuck around because they were like, wow, this is not what I expected to catch on a Wednesday night. But I think that's what makes it a little easier to dip your toe in the water, right? You don't have to dress up. You can go and just hang out, have a beer, which you're probably going to enjoy, and catch some music. And it's always interesting. Yeah.
Like you say, it really seems like a perfect pairing. And to kind of riff on this metaphor, it's sort of like a beer flight, right? Where you get a whole bunch of different beer options. They're in little tiny tasters, and if you like it, it works. If not, try another thing. And I think that's exactly what Opera by the Pint does. Is it makes it very digestible, and it adds that element of fun, and like you say, that thrill of a live unrehearsed performance. You mentioned that it's taking place on the patio of Little Brown Jug. Are there like a limited number of seats or any other guidelines that potential attendees or even performers might need to know ahead of time?
Yeah, for sure. So we know that the patio there has been expanded to include some of their parking space, which is
Mhm.
great. Um, it's I don't know what the limits for numbers are out there, but I would imagine that there won't be a ton of spaces. So if you're interested in coming, I'd suggest coming a little early, just to grab a seat and a drink. But I think one thing to note is that the singers will be, a little distance from the audience, and because we're outside, I think we felt like that was a safe option. We are all really we want to stay as safe as possible, and it's been a tough year for singers, so we want to make sure everyone feels comfortable that it's there. So if you feel comfy with the mask on, keep it on. We are all for that. We know we'll be keeping our distance so that we can keep people as safe as possible.
You mentioned just how tough the year's been. Just before I let you go, in addition to being a part of the Flipside team, you're a singer and a voice instructor at the Community School of Music and Arts at CMU. I'm wondering, can you speak a little bit more personally as to what it means to just have the opportunity to perform again?
For sure. I think it's it feeds our souls, right? As singers, we do it for a reason. We keep doing it because it's so important to us and it's meaningful. And um, to be able to be in front of an audience is just, that feels like a good place to be. So I think having that opportunity as singers is amazing. And I know I've heard from so many audience members, and myself included, to see live music is so meaningful for so many people. So we're happy to give a little flight of that, even if it's just a bit, but we yeah, we miss it, and it'll feel great to be able to join in community that way, like we often do. So I know how hard students have been working this past year to keep it up, and we want to try and celebrate just music because it's so great and we miss it.
So the last thing I want to ask you is, can people expect to hear you singing tonight?
Yes, they will hear me
Nice.
a little bit. Yeah, I am actually going to join in. And of course, we always end with a sing along. So everyone should have something to wet their whistle because they might need to sing a little bit at the end if they feel so inclined. So, yes, I will be one of the singers. So I'm looking forward to that.
So fantastic. Judith, thanks for taking the time to chat with me at Classic 107 today.
Thank you, Simon. Have a great day.
You too. Opera by the Pint returns tonight to Little Brown Jug. That's 336 William Avenue, 7 p.m., but you might want to get there early, as you just heard. For more details, you can visit the website, classic107.com, and click on the events tab.